Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a magic review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending some time with me. Who knows, maybe like, what, 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes out of your day to learn about the latest and greatest in magic. Today, this has been long requested. You guys have been asking me to review this since before it came out. Because How to Read Minds was a Kickstarter, and How to Read Minds 1, the first one, was a huge hit, huge success, and I reviewed that one, and it's a wonderful set. It is such a wonderful set, and if you're a beginner in mentalism, you haven't approached mentalism before, the first How to Read Minds set is a great introductory set. This set, How to Read Minds 2, is a progression from being a beginner set, okay? So right off the top, I would say, if you loved 1, and that was because you were a beginner, 2 is definitely for an intermediate or advanced mentalist, okay? So I wanna make that clear. There's a little bit of separation between the two kits. So this was also a Kickstarter. It's available at Ellusionist for 150 bucks. And it is How to Read Minds 2. What do you get? All right, so first of all, in the kit, you're gonna get a little plastic credit card. The backside of that has a secret code. That code you use as a discount when you go to the Ellusionist website. And this is actually a pretty ingenious thing that they did. They're using their storefront to give you the download codes. Instead of giving you files on a disk, they're all just online. So you're gonna go to Ellusionist, you're gonna pretend to buy the files, and then at checkout, you'll put your code in, and the code will wipe the cost down to 0. So that's pretty much what happens. And then you'll have access to the files. There's 6 files altogether, and I'll go over the files and tell you exactly what you get, but a lot of it, right, is mind reading, playing cards, and then going over the things that are in the kit. So what's in the kit? The kit consists of 2 layers. There's a top layer and a bottom layer. The top layer is mostly 3-dimensional objects. The bottom layer is mostly paper. The top layer is mostly one trick, and that is Rise. Rise is a really great trick. It consists of a lot of different features, and by that I mean parts, elements. So on the top layer, there's a deck of cards, there's a card box, there's a gimmick that goes along with the card box, and there's a gimmick that you keep on your person. So just Rise alone is 4 items in the box, 4 large items in the box. And so I would say Rise is almost all of the top shelf, okay? So Rise is a massive trick, massive trick. And the very first video is all about Rise. So Rise is huge, and what Rise allows you to do is a killer any card at any number. And by killer, I mean the spectator can just imagine a card. You can pull somebody aside in front of a group of people, okay? And that's the thing, Rise is really a crowd trick. It's not really just for one-on-one, right? You're not doing it to one person. You're doing it to, the effect is for a group of people. And you're having this spectator select any card at any number, just in their mind. And then when you go to the deck, it'll be at that number, that card, right? So it's a killer trick, but there's a lot of parts to that. The other thing you're gonna get that's a 3-dimensional object is you're gonna get a stack of billets. They're great billets. Peter Turner says these are his favorite billets, absolutely. You're getting a shiner that will be disguised in your stack of billets. It's cut to be the same size. If you don't know what a shiner is, that's okay. The other thing you're gonna get is a gag spider pen. And at first I was like, oh, I know what this is. It's probably a thread reel, like the spider's way out there, and it's kind of gonna work like you know, other scary tricks where a spider appears. And it kind of is, but it's really meant as a gag. So it's kind of an odd prop to put in the box, and I think Peter agrees with that. Mine, I couldn't get mine to work the way they show you in the video, My spider didn't seem to be the same consistency. Their spider looked more rubber in the demo video. My spider was more plastic. So I could never make mine work. I was too afraid mine was gonna break. And the other thing on top is a bulldog clip. It's completely ungimmicked. It is so that you can fashion your own Bob Austin switch clip, and you'll get all the tools to do that, and Peter Turner will tell you how to make one. Underneath, you will get a couple of other objects. You're gonna get 2 regular business envelopes that Peter will help you gimmick to become more like an unbelievelope. If you remember what that was, there was like, you can see in the window something, but when you pull it out, it changes. And then there's 2 black DIY envelopes that you're gonna turn into kind of like a black door, which was like a switch out black envelope. But again, you'll have to build both of those. Is it what I thought? No, it wasn't. I think I was expecting more of the same as the first kit, right? I kind of thought it'd be more real mentalism and maybe still more for beginners, right? I wasn't expecting a lot of the classic, it's really classic Peter Turner. You know, if you've ever purchased Peter Turner stuff before, you know that he's brave, right? He takes chances, he takes risks. And so he's got a lot of that kind of stuff in there. So I really wasn't expecting classic Peter Turner. I was expecting more like beginner illusionist. And so it wasn't what I thought there. And maybe I thought there'd be more in the box. Maybe I thought there'd be more in the box. It looks like there's a lot, but when you realize that 4 of the objects on the top level are all just for Rise, then it starts to become less. And so I think inside the box, there's roughly 20 tricks, I think, total altogether. All right, so is it well made? Yeah, for the most part, everything's well made. Like I said, a lot of the props are just standard items. They're not even gimmicks. The thing, like I said earlier, about the spider pen, I couldn't get mine to work. So that one was a little disappointing. The cards are cohorts. So they're Cardamundi cards. And, you know, Cardamundi makes great cards. I wasn't in love with the fact that they gave us ghost cards because they're white backs. I think most people are familiar with red backs and blue back cards. I think once you start introducing cards that no one's ever seen before in mentalism, I think it gives people reason to be suspect of the cards. And the faces of the cohorts are such that they kind of have like it's either, they have reds and blacks, but the coloring is just a little different. So I really wish they would have just put in normal red and blue, normal looking cards. I think that would have helped. But I could help you with that, all right? So chances are you already have a deck at home that you could swap out with. It's probably a deck that you've forgotten about, and it's in your drawer somewhere, and you haven't used it in a really long time, but it is a classic Magic deck, classic, that we probably all own. So I don't want to hear your whining and crying, because you probably have a deck that works. I probably have 4. So I think you already have a deck that'll work. What's the overall quality and production value of the video? They're great. Of course, Ellusionist makes great videos, filmed over multiple locations, filmed over multiple time periods too. You can definitely see they went to this project again and again. The first video, like I said, is all about Rise. You get an intro and you get the Rise gimmick, which, like I said, is 4 pieces that are in your box. You're gonna see a live street performance of the any card at any number. And then they're gonna give you some other ideas. Like I said, he might do Rise without a deck at all. He might use Rise as a muscle reading effect. I feel like I wish they could have spent some more time on charging the gimmicks and the settings and maybe some of the troubleshooting, but I kind of, figured it out on my own. The second trick on the first video is about the 2-out envelope. And like I said, it's kind of similar to Black Door, not exactly. They talk to you about how to build it. They give you some ideas for agenda reveal or a serial bill reveal. He throws out like 6 or 7 ideas, but nothing fully fleshed out or performed. And again, I think the negatives for the Black Door envelope is the envelope seems too long. I don't know why they made them so long. And I really wish they had come assembled. I really wish we didn't have to have put them together. The second video is about the shiner and the billets. about equivoque and the bulldog clip. So for the shiner, you get a live performance for two girls. He does a celebrity name on a Post-it note that's on his head. My advice would be to use the shiner for drawing duplications rather than words, right? Because of course words are gonna be reversed. And if you do a picture, that's gonna be easier to read. He has a wonderful section about billets, which is a step up from the first kit. I think this is definitely a part 2 or a more advanced version for billets, and the same for equivoque. If you've ever heard Peter talk about equivoque, you know that he is a master at equivoque. And then he's gonna walk you through how to build the Bob Austin clip, which is a switch device. Video 3, he's gonna give you a no gimmick switch. He's gonna talk to you about how to build the Curzon envelope. He'll give you a watch force and a peak idea. The spider pen is also there, and along with an extended section on how to force an object. So that first part is the Miracle Sign Card to Envelope by Roger Curzon. That trick alone is about $35. So Peter's gonna tell you how to build one yourself. And like I said, the spider pen section, if you kind of ignore the spider pen prop, the teaching on that section is probably some of the best on the entire project. Video 4, he's gonna walk you through a yes-no routine, a 2-person telepathy routine, the 21 card trick, and a trick he calls old but gold. Video 5 is also more card tricks. You'll learn Out of This Galaxy, which is kind of like an out of this world, a trick called Playing Card Amnesia, Think of Two, and the Rain Man book test, which again is a wonderful book test, probably one of my favorite tricks on the entire project. Video 6, he'll teach you how to do an any picture at any number using an all blank deck, which is like Quantum Deck, but with no gimmick. He'll also teach you how to memorize an entirely shuffled deck, and the rest is a long jam session. Now we can't really talk about pocket space or inspectability or angles because every single one of those tricks is completely different, right? There's an entire wealth of information here. There's tons of stuff. But I will say the slice and difficulty level, how hard is this? This is more advanced stuff, like I was saying. So you're gonna need to be more like Peter Turner and less like you. And what I mean by that is sometimes you watch a Peter Turner trick and you're like, man, I think the only person that could pull that off is Peter Turner. Because sometimes you're like, I don't know if I'm that brave. He is very brave, he takes risks, and he's definitely challenging you to be as brave as he is and to take the risks that he does. And Peter Turner is not afraid to walk on the tightrope without a net. He is not. Because he is so good that he can turn any negative into a positive. He can spin any answer the spectator gives him. He's got a bag of tricks in his brain so that if the trick goes wrong or the trick doesn't go the way he wants, he's got an out for that. He called me on the phone one time and he said, oh, pick a letter, right? And he wanted me to pick D because my first name is David. I didn't know that. And I was trying to be the jerk magician and I said Q, right? Which I'm sure he was like, dang it. But he made it work, right? He made it work. Whereas if I were doing the trick, I would be like, dang it, the trick is over. I wanted him to pick what I wanted, right? So Peter's just, he's Peter, he's brave. So yes, you're gonna have to take risks. This is more advanced stuff. The first kit was way more entry level. This kit feels more like classic Peter Turner, okay? So I'm just letting you know. Positives. I think the positives for this kit really rely in two different places. Number one, Rise. I think Rise could have been its own release. It's that big and that massive of a project. Like if Ellusionist had just put Rise into a box with a commercial from Peter Turner and given you the gimmick only and just said, this is Rise, they could have sold it for like as much as this kit, probably, all by itself. The box has a lot of Rise in it. And if all you wanted was Rise, I think you'd get your money's worth just with Rise alone. All right? So you get your money's worth just with Rise alone. Rise takes some practice. It takes a lot of practice. It is definitely not a self-working trick. You also cannot be too far away from your spectator. And you have to be able to do a lot of audience management so that you get the right kind of spectator. So it's not a self-working trick. It is a wonderful prop. It is a wonderful prop, and it works great. I've had great success with it working. Some people have said distance-wise it loses, but I don't. Why do I need to be 100 yards away from them? I don't. I always perform with somebody right next to me, so I'm not afraid to have somebody close to me. But it definitely is not a self-working trick, but I think it's definitely worth the price of the entire kit. The other thing that's worth the price of the entire kit is the downloads. Those videos and the teaching that Peter gives you, it's the same great teaching that you got with Peter's earlier releases with Ellusionist. You know, Peter's done a ton of downloads where it's just him, right? Just him and some friends and a jam session. And that's what you're getting. So yes, you had to build the props yourself, and I really wasn't excited about that. But I'm gonna go back to the downloads themselves. Just the teaching is more than worth what the price of the box is. So if you don't even care about the box at all, and you threw the entire box in the trash, you would still get $150 worth of teaching from Peter Turner. So easily, okay? So well worth your money. Negatives, I couldn't make the spider pen work. I said that. I thought the downloads were great, but I felt the kit was rushed. There was way too much DIY for the kit. And like I said, I think Rise could have been a standalone item as it was in its own. Towards the end, there was some really great footage with Peter Turner and a group of guys. Pig Cake was one of them, and G from Ellusionist was one of them. And it's filmed really great, and it's in like this like Airbnb. And there's that really cool camaraderie that you have with all of them because they're all magicians and they talk. And I loved that. And Ellusionist gave us access to that earlier. And so it was fun to watch those. And I was hoping the rest of the kit would be more like that. But I think on the very first two videos, it was Peter Turner and this girl. And they said the girl was a magician and that she would be there to be my eyes and ears, but she just sat there. And it was so awkward. Like she didn't do anything. She barely talked. And then occasionally she would kind of like, you should never like look straight on at the camera if you're not talking, right? You can talk to the camera, that's fine. But if you're not talking to the camera and you kind of just swing over and look at the camera, it's just weird. So she would gaze at the camera sometimes and it would take me out of what was happening. And here's another interaction that I had with Peter Turner, and I understand this fully. Ellusionist one time said, hey, would you interview Peter Turner on YouTube? And I was like, sure. And so I wrote all these questions. I was like, I'm going to interview Peter Turner and this is going to be awesome. If you go back and watch the video, it's just Peter Turner talking and me just staring. So I know exactly how that girl felt. Because Peter Turner is such a huge presence. He is such a huge presence and he's a big personality. And so if you get him talking, he can talk forever. And so I think I said like 3 things. So I am just as guilty. I would have looked just like that girl. So I know what she's going through. All right, so who would like this? I think the people who would like this are the people that like traditional Peter Turner magic. I think if you didn't buy Kit 1 because you thought it's too much for beginners, and I'm way past that, I think this kit will work for you. I think if you also want Rise, and you're like, I only want Rise, I don't care about anything else, then get the kit. The Rise is totally worth the money of the kit itself. Plus you're gonna get all that bonus stuff. So it's definitely awesome. But like I said, definitely for intermediate to advanced magicians. And I hope that helps you make a choice about what you would like to do. But yeah, I hope I answered some questions about the kit, or at least introduced you to something that you didn't know anything about. And if that's the case, you can always do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and follow, push all those buttons. That really helps me out a lot. And big, huge thanks to Peter Turner and Ellusionist.com for allowing me to have this kit so I could do the review for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, did you know there are over 300 videos and reviews that you've never even seen here at Magic Orthodoxy? It's true. And if you join the membership section today, you'll get unlimited access to that exclusive content. What are those videos? These would be the magic tricks that I buy with my own money. These are the tricks that I want, the tricks I am the most excited about. All you have to do is click the join button on your screen. And there are 2 exciting ways to join. For $2, you'll get access to 8 extra videos a month, 8 brand new videos a month. And for $5 a month, you'll get access to 12 new videos a month. Not to mention, you'll also be part of an exclusive community of almost 500 other magicians. And if you can't find the join button, I will put a link in the description of today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.